Clayton Vaughn, now at 5, 6, and 10 on Channel 6 News.
More of America's hand in the Gulf War is tipped this morning. Word that the U.S. deliberately distorted intelligence reports to both Iran and Iraq. This is the CBS Morning News. Good morning. I'm Forrest Sawyer.
And I'm Faith Daniels. It's Monday, January 12th.
Terry Waite is not giving up. The Church of England envoy is returning to Beirut this morning, trying to win the release of more foreigners who are being held hostage by terrorists. 6 Americans are still missing in Lebanon, and we have heard little about their fate since the eruption of the Iran-Contra controversy. Waite delayed returning to Beirut until today because of new violence in the Lebanese capital. A new twist this morning in America's role in the Iran-Iraq war. Today's New York Times reports that the U.S. gave both sides. Kampelman will be facing a new Kremlin representative, Yuli Vorontsov, the first deputy foreign minister. U.S. officials hope Vorontsov's high rank is an indication Moscow is ready to compromise on an arms agreement. While arms talks resume in Geneva, the two sides are about to start a new round of nuclear testing. The United States has set a date for the first nuclear test of the year, February 6th, and the Kremlin says as soon as that happens, it will start its own tests. Extra patrols are on alert against anti-nuclear protesters at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. The protesters are vowing to block test flights of the Trident II missile. Several protesters appeared in court yesterday charged with trespassing. Some were arrested on the shuttle landing strip at the Kennedy Space Center.
It's the Denver Broncos and the New York Giants in Super Bowl 21. The Broncos beat the Cleveland Browns in overtime Sunday for the AFC title. Down by 7, John Elway takes Denver 98 yards and ties it with 37 seconds remaining in regulation. In overtime, in the Cleveland Cold, barefoot kicker Rich Carlos wins it for the Broncos on a 33-yard field goal that barely makes it. There's a giant celebration around New York, too, as Harold Dow reports.
With the aid of a 35-mile-an-hour wind at their backs, the Giants stung the Washington Redskins early and never let up. By halftime, the score was...
Blocking some ships and harbors and cutting off supplies in many areas. In Sweden, where readings hit 49 degrees below zero in the north, Army troops had to help deliver supplies, and it wasn't easy. Readings in Siberia hit 70 degrees below zero. It's a lot warmer in Moscow. Temperatures there are at a balmy 22 below. A little different in St. Paul, Minnesota. There, it was like carrying coals to Newcastle. Truckloads of snow had to be carted into the city for its annual winter carnival. Just not enough of the stuff around for a team of Japanese sculptors to begin work on their 26-foot-high sculpture.
Now this morning's weather news. In the northeast, much of Maine is digging out from snow. Nearly 20 inches fell at Bangor yesterday, with a foot recorded around Portland. Many roads remain snow-covered and driving conditions are hazardous.
Corporation, which says satisfying your family is what we're all about.
I never knew that.
Your tent.
In news from around America this morning, New York's John Cardinal O'Connor is defending his statement that the Holocaust may be an enormous gift to the world from Judaism. At St. Patrick's Cathedral, O'Connor said he meant that redemption comes from suffering. And he said he is deeply disappointed by Jewish criticism of statements he made during his Middle East trip.
United Airlines tops the consumer complaint list. The government added up last year's complaints, and United had the most, followed by People Express and Eastern. If you're looking to rent a car in Miami or in Orlando, remember the Alamo. The Alamo Rent-A-Car Company cut its weekly rate to $49, and Travel Management Daily says that has triggered a price war. The driver is winning. That is, except when it comes to filling the tank. The new Lundberg survey shows gas prices jumped 3 cents a gallon in 2 weeks. Average price, 88 cents a gallon. Here's a look at our traveler's weather report this morning. Fair weather is on the way for most of the nation's larger cities. New York will be partly cloudy and very windy, clear skies from Chicago to Denver. Now here's a look at the weather in your hometown.
Good morning, Bob Cooper with your Channel 6 forecast this Monday morning. Unseasonably warm weather is what we'll enjoy with sunshine today, a high near 58 degrees. Overnight, fair and temps in the low 30s. For tomorrow, more sunshine, and again, temperatures near 60.
All in all, not bad for the middle of January.
Some news in brief this morning. Ireland is saying it is reconsidering its role in the UN peacekeeping force after an Irish soldier was killed in southern Lebanon. The soldier was killed over the weekend by Israeli shelling. The Israelis say they were firing at a terrorist squad and the killing of the soldier was accidental.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average shattered the 2,000 mark last week. Ken Pruitt joins us now with a look at some stocks not in the Dow, which are getting in on the act as well. Ken?
Faith, good morning. It's been years since the stock market has gotten off to such a strong start in January. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has hit 5 record highs in a row, and in the process going over 2,000 for the first time ever. The market's up to 2,005 this morning. Through much of last year, a lot of market analysts were disturbed because the action was confined to the big capitalization stocks represented by the Dow, but that seems to be changing. Last week, the Industrial Average moved up 4%, not bad, but the smaller companies...
Continuing the morning news report, good morning. I'm Forrest Sawyer.
And I'm Faith Daniels. If you're just joining us, here are the top stories.
Hostage envoy Terry Waite is heading for Beirut. Waite left London this morning. The Church of England says he will resume efforts to free those held in captivity there, including the 6 Americans missing in Lebanon. Waite waited to go before Christmas, or he wanted to go before Christmas, but canceled his plan.
Kristen, Corrine, Luce, Chrissy Johnson.
As the church bells pealed, the names of each of the 15 victims killed in the collision were recited to the congregation of neighbors and rescue workers who'd gathered for the memorial service.
2 Australian 12-meters must battle it out for the right to defend the championship. And starting tomorrow, the fiberglass-hulled New Zealand will take on the San Diego Yacht Club's Stars and Stripes to decide the challenger. Barry Peterson reports.
He is the old salt, Dennis Conner and his Stars and Stripes, the last American boat left of the 6 who dreamed of winning back the Cup. For Conner, it is a grudge match. He was at the helm when America lost the Cup last time around. Now there is one last hurdle between him and the Australians, the boat from New Zealand. New Zealanders call themselves Kiwis. They call their boat Kiwi Magic.
North Carolina is benefiting from a pause that refreshes. In 1948, a parishioner left the church 17 shares of stock in the Coca-Cola Company of Alabama. Well, the Alabama unit has since been sold to the main Coca-Cola Company in Atlanta. Now that stock is valued at $970,000. A very nice return on an initial deposit.
I should say, Forrest. Now let's take a look at the nation's agenda today. Defense Secretary Casper Weinberger testifies before the Senate Armed Services Committee on plans to boost Pentagon spending 7.7%. And Senator Edward Kennedy's Labor and Human Resources Committee holds a hearing on health care. There's more news coming up. Plus, later this morning, medical correspondent Dr. Bob Arnott reports on a new study that says sudden heart attacks are likely to strike in the morning hours. There's more ahead on the CBS Morning News.
That'll do it. Who wants grapefruit juice?
I'll pass.
It's good for you. It's great for dieting.
I know.
Chief Executive. The ceremonies are scheduled for the south steps of the Capitol building in Oklahoma City. Yesterday, Bellman was in Tulsa for an observance of the arts. He visited the Philbrook and Gilcrease museums. Though he knows Oklahomans are looking to him to pull the state out of an economic slump, Bellman says the private sector will have to do its part.
The job of government is to govern well and fairly and give the state the kind of a government they can have confidence in. And once we've done this, then I think the private sector will create the jobs and the opportunities that we need to move ahead.
In other news, a hearing on a proposal to expand the Sequoia. With more news, I'm Robert Jaffe. Have a good day.
Inventory reduction sale going on right now at Southwestern Motor Rebuilders. Have a quality guaranteed. Many people still believe the rape victim.
Britain's Prince Edward today resigned his commission in the Royal Marines. The prince had undergone some ridicule in the press there because of reports that he was disenchanted with military life and found the training too tough. Nigeria, the next stop.
At oil prices.
I'm Forrest Sawyer with Faith Daniels. Stay with us. There's more on the CBS Morning News.
This is CBS.
What do the most sweeping tax changes in history mean to you?
I wish I knew. Today on Channel 6 News at 5.
A reported U.S. plan to mislead both sides in the Iran-Iraq war.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. New clues on why morning is the danger time for heart attacks.
OPEC in disarray, what will that mean to oil prices?
Plus the celebrations in 2 cities heading toward the Super Bowl.
This is the CBS Morning News. Good morning. I'm Forrest Sawyer.
And I'm Faith Daniels. It's Monday, January 12th.
Terry Waite still thinks he has a chance. The Anglican Church envoy is returning to Beirut this morning. He will try again to gain the release of foreigners kidnapped by terrorists. Waite postponed his mission until today because his safety in Beirut could not be guaranteed. He said last year that the publicity surrounding U.S. arms sales was carrying nuclear weapons. The government refuses to say, but a defense spokesman claims the accident never posed a risk to the public. Tomorrow on the Morning News, Robert Krulwich will tell you how to open your very own Swiss bank account.
It's far and away the best.
Just fantastic.
IFR 17.
Facts. We demand the truth. We know who we are. And when it comes to news, we know who we trust. Dan Rather, weeknights on the CBS Evening News. We keep America on top of the world.
Hello, Dallas.
Well, hi, Chicago.
Sounds a little crazy, but we wanted to see if the new nearly 1/2 of the fiber.
Live, this is KOTV, Channel 6 News Morning Update.
Good morning from Channel 6 News. Glenna Cubb is here with the sign interpretation. Under clear skies, we have 32 degrees in Tulsa. 24 years ago, Henry Bellman was sworn in as Oklahoma's first Republican governor. And later today, in the state capitol, Bellman will once again take the position as the state's chief executive. In Tulsa yesterday, for an observance of the arts, Bellman said money will be his top priority.
Our first responsibility is to present a legislative program, which we'll do as quickly as we can, and the second step is a budget. And once those proposals are made, then we'll have to work very hard to get the legislature to approve our program.
Representatives from several environmental groups are expected to be on hand today to oppose the expansion of the Sequoia Fuels uranium conversion plant near Gore. The hearing was to have taken place a year ago, but it was delayed after an accident at the plant killed 1 person and injured more than 30. The hearing will be conducted by an administrative judge for the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. The environmental groups have filed. I'm Robert Jaffe, Glenna Cubb with the sign interpretation. Have a good day.
Children's Medical Center has developed the family.
The hardest thing in the world is to keep a secret when someone tells us.
And it's a fearsome thing to go through. It really is.
My God, you have a lot of hair.
Discover which secrets you shouldn't tell. The confessions of a former Secret Service agent and the secret wish of this housewife. Plus, meet men of the hour Marvin Hamlish, Doc Severinsen, and Robert Young. All this week on Our Magazine.
Monday at 4 on Channel 6.
On the morning program, President Reagan, Jacqueline Onassis, Bruce Springsteen, the Pope.
Mariette, that's not quite factual.
Oh, you journalists are really hung up on facts.
Well, it's a character flaw, perhaps.
Okay, you want facts? We do have Sophia Loren, Tyne Daly, and Sharon Gless, TV's Cagney and Lacey.
My golly, you've got it.
And lots of surprises I haven't told them about yet. Next on the morning program, huh?
Checking some of the stories that are going to be making news in the day ahead, Jordan's King Hussein is heading for France and Italy to promote his Mideast policy and to seek economic aid. In Washington, the Senate begins consideration of a $20 billion clean water bill that's already been passed by the House. And Senator Edward Kennedy's Labor and Human Resources Committee holds health care hearings today.
Here is a story about a dedicated sportsman. In Miami this weekend, a Peruvian runner realized he was late for a marathon.
I should say.
That is the CBS Morning News for this Monday, January 12th. I'm Forrest Sawyer.
And I'm Faith Daniels. Thanks for joining us. Have a great Monday.
This is CBS.